Hello, chirping preteens. Your friend Arshdeep has come back with another interesting story. Today, we both will be narrating an interesting story by Oscar Wilde. The title of the story is A Modern Millionaire, and it is the story of a man named Hughie who suffered due to his materialistic way of life. Hughie Riskin was a handsome young man who was popular among men and women. He was kind to everybody but was not clever enough. He never understood that just being a charming fellow is not enough, but one needs to have a steady income and be wealthy enough to be independent. He had tried many professions but did not success in any. To make mattress boards, he was also in love with Laura Martin, the daughter of a retired colonel. Hughie and Laura would be the handsomest couple in London, but they had no money. Laura's dad was equally fond of Hughie, but he had agreed to marry his daughter to Hughie only once he earned £10,000 of his own. Hughie was very sad and did not know how he could earn that money. One morning, Hughie visits one of his closest friends, Alan Trevor, who was a painter. Trevor was a rough fellow, but he was a great artist, and many people bought his paintings. When Hughie came into the studio, Trevor was putting finishings and touches to a life-size picture of a beggar who was seated behind him. Hughie felt pity looking at the beggar and reached out to his pocket. Whatever coins he found in his pocket, he offered it to the beggar. The old man stared and, with a faint smile, he said, "Thank you, sir." Hughie then left the studio to meet Laura. That night, when Hughie met Trevor, he inquired about the painting, if he had finished the work. Trevor replied that he had finished and even framed the picture, but Trevor also added that old model who had posed for the picture had taken special interest in Hughie's and was speaking about Hughie's whereabouts. Trevor had told the old model everything about Hughie, even about Laura and the colonel's unreasonable demand for £10,000.
Hughie felt very angry at Trevor for having told all of his private affairs. Immediately, Trevor informed Hughie that the old man he was trying to help, in fact, was one of the richest men in Europe. Trevor explained that the old model was Baron Hosburg, who was a great friend of Trevor and bought most of his paintings. Baron had given him a commission a month ago to paint him as a beggar. ह्यूगी को बहुत ही गुस्सा आता है ये जानकर कि ट्रेवर ने बिना उसकी परमिशन के उसके बारे में सारी बातें एक स्ट्रेंजर को बता दी हैं एंड ही वाज शॉक्ड. वो हैरान हो जाता है ये जानकर कि वो स्ट्रेंजर बेगर भी नहीं था, वो एक बैरन हॉसबर्ग नाम का इंसान था. The next morning, as Hughie was having his breakfast, a servant brought a card for him on which was written, "Morris Sir Gustav Norden, messenger from Baron Hosburg." Hughie asked the servant to show the visitor in, and before the messenger could explain anything, Hughie asked him to convey his sincere apologies to Baron Hosburg. Hughie ने बोला मैसेंजर को कि आप मेरी तरफ से ज़रूर बैरन हॉसबर्ग से माफ़ी मांग लीजिएगा. But the messenger instead handed over an envelope to Hughie on which it was written, "A wedding gift to Hughie Erskine and Laura Merton from an old beggar," and there was a check of £10,000 inside the envelope. Finally, Hughie's long-held desire came true because of the generosity of Hughie, a kind young man, as well as Baron Horsburgh, the richest man in Europe. On the day of their wedding, Alan Trevor was the best man, and Baron also gave a speech at the wedding breakfast. Millionaire models are rare enough, but model millionaires are rarer still, remarked Alan. It's true that many of us have riches and glories to help others, but if we do not have the desire for it, we would never help anyone. Hughie had a helpful, kind heart to give whatever he had in his pocket to a man he thought was a beggar, and Baron Horsburgh had the big heart to give 10,000 pounds to a man he had met for a few minutes. But before we end, let me also tell you a little more about Oscar Wilde, the author of this story. Oscar Wilde was an author, playwright and poet, and a popular literary figure in late Victorian England. In 1891, he published The Picture of Dorian Gray, which became one of his most notable works. Oscar Wilde gifted the world with many world-famous writings, including his satirical comedies, A Woman of No Importance, 1893, An Ideal Husband, 1895, and The Importance of Being Earnest, 1895, his most famous play. I'm sure you would have enjoyed this beautiful and inspiring story by Oscar Wilde, The Model Millionaire. Hello everyone, here on screen you see all the illustrations done by Arshdeep. Thank you Arshdeep, that's great of you to do such a beautiful work in less time. And for bringing out your imagination on paper and enriching our experience of listening to the story. Thank you. And now is the time to say goodbye to all of you until we come up with another interesting story. Take care.